That's not one of the leads after December 15th, right?
Yes.
It is.
So this this last contract that it I mean I actually had it on the contract like 2 weeks ago, but I was
Mhm.
trying to either buy it to do a flip or wholesale it. And then today, after talking to two buyers, one of them back out. This other buyer I found 2 days ago at the beginning of the week, they just put the earnest money deposit today. So that's the one that I put today under contract. They're Kelly Dahlgren. And then there is another one that we closed today, right? But that's from where we're still with Edgar and Henry back from November. That it was on hold. We didn't know if it was going to close. We were waiting for some tax bill from the county. Finally
Mhm.
came this week. So that was a lead from back in November. Is the one that we sold to the neighbor, making a good fee there right from the get. So
Nice.
in,
So
in
that
one day. So
finally, that one came through. Amazing.
that one came through. Yeah, exactly. So I think we had it on the review that I made for you a couple months ago. But yeah, that closed. It actually just closed today. We had to do a double closing, but I went and signed today. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that was a good one for all of us.
Nice. Okay, so just to be on the same page, the one I'm seeing is Kelly Dahlgren.
So that's my own deal. That's the one
And
that is a lead that came right around Christmas, like December.
nice.
It came about a month ago. I've been working with her.
Nice.
Um, it was I had to go a little back and forth. I had to beat like two or three other people, but at the end of the day, she went with me because I was able just to gain her trust more than the other people. Right? She's been kind of like you know messing around with other buyers, and I just thought, look, this is what I can do. Very straightforward to the point. It took about 3 or 4 calls to get it. And then she said, you know what, I'm going to do it. Even after I got it, I had to get a price reduction. Okay. Um, which she went along with it. Okay. Because she said, you know what, I'm just going to do it with you. Why would I have to go to another buyer? Because she supposedly had another offer for higher. And they said, look, you may have to start over again, with that buyer. They may just come back with a price reduction also, right? So that was a house that I put under contract without going to see it. And then when I got there, I didn't know it was a smoker's house, right? So then I had a little bit of leverage to drop the price a little bit, which I had it at the price that I had. And that property I could either take it myself because it was a really good deal, or I could wholesale it. So now with the price reduction, doing the flip or doing the wholesale, it was going to come out about the same thing. So I just decided to let it go.
Oh,
So,
wholesale. So,
yep, I decided to wholesale it. Yeah, I was
so
going to take it myself.
who put the
Yeah,
earnest money deposit? The
the
wholesaler. So
buyer,
it's already
the
assigned.
buyer,
The
the end buyer,
the,
the final buyer.
the
Yes, the
final.
the final buyer which came through me through an agent. So, but they are paying. The buyer is paying, you know, the fee directly. Um, but until 2 hours ago, okay, because they made me change title companies and everything. So I kind of, but was the only buyer that I had. So just now I had a call with one of the people at the title company. Say, okay, we have now the earnest money check in escrow right here, right now. So I'm gonna send a receipt soon. So that means that's gonna go forward on February 7th is the closing date for that one. Yeah.
And that person, the end buyer, is gonna live on the property, or is an investor?
It's an investor. He's
Nice.
gonna do he's gonna do a whole, buy and
Man,
hold. So
congratulations. Like, I didn't know that we were basically having a success call right now.
yeah, exactly. I've been working a lot. That a lot of the times when we had to reschedule these calls the last couple of weeks, I was working some of these things, by the way. It
Yeah,
was
I
just
know.
kind of like it happens. And I always have it on the calendar, but then he said, "Look, I got this lady and I think one of the days that we had to reschedule was one of the days that I had to go and see this lady. Okay, and I had to go and see her twice to get her to convince to go with me. And I think it was one of those trips, and that's like an hour and 20-minute trip for me. So it takes
Mhm.
me like a half a day there going to San Antonio South. Um, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
Cool, man. What are you expecting to make on that one?
So that one is gonna be somewhere around 12 or 13. Yep.
This is all yours with the
That's
new.
that's back. That all backs to my company, back to put it in marketing.
That's
Yep.
amazing, man.
That is
I love
amazing. Yep.
that. I mean, before, in order for you to get that, you would need to get a $36,000 assignment.
Yep. Which are hard to get, right?
I mean, yeah, they're not
Um,
around. They're not around
that
each
they're not
corner.
around. They're not around. The average now is anywhere between 15 and 25. You know, and you always have to give somebody that if somebody brings you a buyer. I'm connecting with a lot of people down there in San Antonio that have a lot of buyers, and that's how I've been able to move some of these deals, just like connecting with them. Hello, just bring me a buyer. Serious people actually, right?
Mhm.
So, and they have been able to find, me buyers for some deals that I have had problems trying to sell it myself, right? Most of the times I can find a buyer on my own. It's just like for any deal, if the deal is good on the number, you can sell the deal yourself. No problem. It's very easy, right? But
Yep.
there's these ones that have like a little bit of margin, not a lot, and make these buyers think more than twice to go for the higher number. Those are the ones where you can actually get somebody else. Hey, look, this person wants to pay that for that property. And then, you do the deal, you got to give them a fee, whatever. Sometimes they give you 20, 25%, 30%, sometimes depending on the deal. And I don't mind giving up because other than that, the deal would have been dead, right?
Yep.
This one in particular, I would have taken myself if I wouldn't had anybody else take it. I had the
Man, but
lender ready and everything.
congratulations. This is really, really good stuff. I mean, grinding, having those conversations. Like you, one thing that I admire about you is you don't shy away from like those tough ones in which there's a lot of competition, right?
Oh yeah,
Like it feels like that's what you're passionate about, right?
yeah. Like this one here is
Mm,
very. It was a very the title of the seller side was complicated, and I knew that there's probably a lot of other people that wouldn't want to take on it because they thought it was going to be a waste of time. So
mm,
I had to go, and I try to do this because once you get in, then you waste time if the title is not going to be clear at closing. But she showed me a lot of stuff that I was able to check, and then I sent it to the title company. Say, you know what, this should be okay, Jonathan, right? Basically he had a power of attorney and he had probate, both
mm,
included. So that's kind of like it's a very convoluted deal, and other title companies wouldn't want to have it. You have to work also with the right title company on these deals.
nice.
So, to be able to clear the stuff and work with the seller to try to be proactive so that closings don't get delayed. Because this is the one that it could easily get delayed if paperwork is not presented right on time. So yeah, and that brings experience, just experience to the table. Like, there's a way to do those things also. Just gotta be willing to take it on.
Yep. Yeah. And something I want to mention real quick. Thanks for sharing all your expertise and the things that you're learning. That's amazing. Something I want to mention is these success calls, they also are strategy success calls. So talking about strategy is crucial in these calls as well, because like we want you to have more of the same, right? So here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I wanted to ask you. How is everything going with your lead manager, the one that is calling the leads, and also you are calling the leads? Because when you get in these challenging situations, I'm pretty sure most of your day is focused on that. So how is everything going for you and your team in that regard?
He's doing good. He's been 2 months with me. I'm teaching him and training him on a couple other things, how to run a little bit numbers. He started been delivering some offers on the kind of that are no so hard, but I'm getting him to practice on things like somebody wants retail. Okay, we get a lot
Yep.
of that, right?
Mhm.
So just making that initial contact, the different options is going through them. He is shows us some time, it's just like so I have him handling a lot of the pipeline, okay, and so I can concentrate on try to on the back end of things, these both things, He tried to get so much information as he can. Look, you gotta get all the pictures, you gotta get all this other stuff, right, for me to present an offer. Um, Actually, one of my leads, we got a listing out of it. My wife did, so we went there last week.
Nice.
It's I think he put it in the column there. Here locally, man, everybody wants like retail. Um,
Mhm.
and we've been getting a lot of, so we have another appointment tomorrow. So I'm involving my wife a lot on it. Some of these leads we're gonna take straight up listings out of it.
Mhm.
And I mean, why would it, like, we just did one last week and the lady was ready and signed the listing the next day. So, and it's gonna be part of
Congratulations.
the same. So I'm getting a role now. See, before, when I was working with the guys, I had to, okay, I was kind of like, okay, we gotta split everything three ways, and then if it's a listing, how is that gonna come into play? This and that. So now that I can like solely focus you know, on what I'm doing, I just using my resources just basically for myself. But to answer to your question about Cesar, he's doing really good. Yeah, it's keeping
How
everything.
much? What is it?
It's keeping things very organized.
That's
For
amazing,
for
man.
me,
How
so I
much
can go and focus on
is
other things.
cool? That's really good. How much did she list it for your wife? The property.
It's gonna be like a 425 listing. Yeah, 425. It's in one of the neighborhoods that are like mid-range neighborhoods here north of Austin. Um, but that listing sold is back to us. See what I mean? Whenever that
That is
sells.
really good. I
Yeah.
mean, with that price range, it's gonna be very similar, like commission than your assignment fee.
Yep. It will be about the same. So here's the thing. If and for me, I have to think about it this way, right? If I gonna do an innovation, which I'll probably still do on some of those things, I gotta figure out also, if it's worth for me to be in the middle. Because in innovation, I have to be in the middle, right? I gotta talk to
Yes.
sell. I gotta do all these things. I gotta, like, do a little bit of the contract. I gotta do this, and that. It takes out of my time, right?
Mhm.
To then make a few dollars at the end only, not worth it. If the seller wants a specific price and the only way to get that is in the open market, well, we just do a straight up listing. What that does is I remove myself out of it. I don't have to put time and effort on it. My wife handles most of the things, right? She'll deal directly with them. And then, whenever she sells the property, we get paid, right? I can focus more, because I've been trying to get a couple of ovations that is really like, I've been actually getting close to get them where there is a spread, right? So with the spread, you can actually put your time in it.
Mhm.
But if it's a short spread and it's not a lot of room, then it's not worth it. Because I did one last year, and to believe it, it's one
Okay.
of the ones that we got from you guys. It'll make it like $2,000. And I had to spend six
2,000? No,
months.
that's not.
Yeah,
No,
it's 6 months.
novations has to be at least 25. It's
Exactly.
worth
But the,
it.
the the point was there were issues with the found. There were issues on it that I learned. Okay,
Mm.
so I see. Okay, if this is gonna be taking me long time, I gonna remove myself out of it because I need to look from the 25 to 35 motivated leads that I get in a month. I need to focus on those and see what can I fish from those, as far as either to fix and flip or to take the wholesales out of it, right? So we can keep growing, the business. So I think we're getting there. The start of the year has been, really good so far. Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations,
Yep.
man. So, but I didn't get it. I didn't get from what you said. Are you still trying to do it with Rich Wonders, or you're gonna do it on your own? Get an
Some
ovation.
leads, yeah, some leads that are like far away from me, which I sometimes I get in different parts of Texas. I'll do those. I'll send them those. And by the way, they have been like, there are two of them that I send them were really, really close. At the end of the day, they end up, this client end up just listing the property with their agent. But there's a guy that I talked to, Sebastian is his name. He's one of the main rich guys there. and they have a really good process. It's like a it's like a 3 to 4 day process how they talk to these people. Okay. So to convince them to go with them, right? And they've been really close. Like it would be like 10 or 15K off, like
Mm,
for them to do it. Now, I talk to these people after, the sellers, and I still do my follow up if the lead comes back to me, and then I say, okay, look, you still want to do this, right? We can do the cash offer. Like you said before, you always have want to take them back if they are not willing to work it out with them. So I keep an eye on those. But a lot of the times it's just they're looking just too close to retail value, and then a wholesale is not going to work. And then, you know, an ovation might, it just gets really close there. So I'm getting a lot of those leads now. Um, I can also work with referral agents, network also, So like, since my wife is an agent, you can just work out referral listings and then we get kickbacks on the back end and we don't do anything, right? So I'm trying to like, get some revenues and some streams of income out of the marketing that we're putting out.
I mean, that is really good, man. I mean, at the end of the day, the way I've noticed this works is not everybody's gonna be ready to sell right away,
No,
but the fact that you were able to give them all these options, they see you at some point as a one-stop shop, as a one-stop shop. Yeah, like if they don't get it with you, they're gonna go outside, they're gonna fail miserably, and potentially go back to you and be like, Jonathan, I'm ready to go.
I found a lead also. Went to see the lady here in Austin, uh, and she had all these things about she want to buy a new house and all. Anyway, she got all these ideas in her mind. I gave her the offer. She was obviously was too low. I already know that. But then she ended up deciding, you know what? I just want to stay in this house and do an addition to it. Okay.
Mm,
So, I brought Edgar, who's my old partner. I still do business with him. He has a little bit of construction background and he may be doing an addition for her in the
mm,
property, right?
wow.
So we're still getting business out of it. What I mean, right? A lady that called, hey, I want to sell my house, and the house is a complete fixer up. It needs a lot of work, but it's in a good location, so she doesn't want to move too far out. She wants to keep the house there and just do the repair. She doesn't know anything on it. It's paid off, so she can get like a credit line on the property, and then with that credit line, do the repairs on the additional house, right? And she stays there. So she's leaning towards doing that. So Edgar and I went there last week to check it out, and we're gonna bring the architect and the engineer and everything, to do the other plans and everything. But she's ready to do it, right? And obviously there is money there also to be had, and you know you get referrals out of it also. You know? So that just, I mean, it kind of pays back for some of the marketing. That's how I see it, right?
Awesome, man. Awesome. Okay, man, are you ready? I'm doing some research here on the back end, and I wanna kind of like share you my first impressions
Yeah.
on the back end work, meaning like all the calls, the conversations, and everything. First I noticed that your guy is on point, man. This guy is calling 2, 3 times each time he calls a lead. And he's having a lot of like conversations. For example, from the 1st of January up to the 23, I was checking for how many conversations were at least 2 minutes long. Some of them are 5, 7, 9 minutes long. I see one that is 12 minutes. You know how many? And it could be sometimes repeated clients, right? Repeated sellers. Doesn't have to be all different sellers, but there is a staggering number of 69.
Yeah.
Bro,
That's
that's a
good.
lot of work. Amazing.
I I always tell him, we got one lead like 3 weeks ago, no, 3 days ago or earlier this week that he said, "Oh, you called." I don't think the guy was motivated to sell at all. I said, and the guy said, "Oh, you called 3 times. You're blocked right now. F you, right?" He wasn't motivated. He just filled out the form, and I just asked him very nicely, "Hey, look, can we just have a conversation at a time that works for you?" And then my rule with Cesar is, look, I don't care, man. You gotta go by this rule. You gotta tell them 3 times. 1, 2, 3, right? And then you gotta send a text message right there. Don't move to the next lead before you do that, right? So
Nice.
that's why he's been getting a lot of answers on it. I said use the secondary number, combine, right? Because we got the second number there also. Um, so I know he's getting. So what that has allowed me, man, is like when leads come in, and if it's after hours or weekend or Sunday, and I see something like, okay, this person wants to talk right away, I get jump right away on it. If I'm like not in the middle of something, I can do that. If I'm in the middle of something, I just let him the next day to call, and he just like said, look, your job is to get them on the phone and find out what's going on, because they took the time and spent almost 5 minutes filling out the form. You're gonna find out why they fill out the form, right? Because you dial these people 20 times and you never get an answer, don't get a text, don't get nothing, no replies to the automatic messages. But I just said that's just the way the system works. You gotta keep trying it. That's how we got this lady Kelly. And I said, look, Kelly, she initially said she wanted 210. You know how much I got this house for 160, right? But it took a lot to get there, right? And it was at the right time motivation. And then we just kept 100. And I told this one in specific, I told him, you gotta keep getting her on the phone. Try her. This lady is motivated. I can hear it on her voice on the couple of conversations that you have with her, right? You gotta keep going. And it was like right in the middle of Christmas also. I'll call her anytime. And then that's what she kind of got, back to us. So a lot of these leads, man, everything is the follow-up. That's where you get most of them, right? That's
Awesome,
how,
man.
yeah.
Awesome, man. I think I have a tip for you based on something that you said. You said that he sometimes mixes the main phone and the secondary phone
Hmm.
in the
At
same
different times.
attempt?
So, no, at different times.
Okay,
At
perfect.
different times.
So
At different
each
times.
attempt, he needs to keep it to one of those. See what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
they're gonna know. Okay, this same guy is trying to get me from another number. So he'll
yeah.
he'll go
And,
he'll,
and
he'll go over the list. I'm training him on that. I said, look,
man, that
just get
screams
them on the phone.
telemarketing like this. And no,
Exactly. Yeah.
this is the mindset that I'm teaching my newest clients. You need to come to elites as a invited guest,
Yes,
not
that's
as
true.
a unwanted pest, right?
Exactly. Like sometimes I got a couple of leads that I'm working on that I've been kind of taking on my cell phone also, and they've been talking to me, out of the CRM. So I tell them, and sometimes they don't want to answer me, but I know they want to sell, right? So I've been kind of keeping in touch with both of them. Actually, well, there's one that is a really good deal if I can get it. I mean, this is a long story. It could be for a video later. There is a guy in jail. Okay, the um eh, girlfriend or wife, whatever, she came through the phone, right? She said, look, I got this situation. I spoke to her. My husband is in jail, right? He's like 38 years old. You're not going to be able to talk to him. So I said, look, get me on the phone. There's one time that I missed the call. He was trying to get me on the phone. And it was like, I don't know, 12 o'clock at night, right? And I couldn't get it, but she wants to sell the house for $40,000, right? So I've been calling her over and I said, look, I'll give you, right, $5,000 to you. Forget about him, to you, if you make this deal happen for me.
Mhm.
And she's trying to convince him to go with me. I mean, this is like a daily conversation that I have with this lady, because
Okay.
that could be a good deal if I can get it for 40,000, right? She wanted 70. I said, nah, man, I drove by the house. I said, it's too much work. I'll offer 40. She said, okay, are you still willing to give me my finder's fee? I said, yes. Okay. But just let me know when you are ready for it. So they're trying to do the legal part of it. Okay. How he could sign this and that, making sure that I'm not a scam, because she was worried about that. And said, okay, go and look at my reviews, go and look at my website, go and look at this. I'm local. I can meet with you, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I think I'm going to be able to get that in the next few weeks. I just have to work it out more. So that kind
Amazing,
of,
man.
but it takes, what I'm saying, take time, take 10 times to deal with these people to get the deal closed.
You always have these great stories, man. I'm looking forward to having that strategy success call with you.
Yeah.
Bro, one
Um,
last thing I'm gonna say about I mean, like I mentioned, I mean, great job, keep it up. I'm seeing some really good calls. The one thing where I think I might still add some value is um I don't know, I feel like many of these 2 minute, 3 minutes call, I mean, where your guy might have gotten stuck, I feel like we can have a session with him. Like it wouldn't be a strategy success call, but a normal check-in in which you would bring Cesar.
I'll bring him.
We would
Yeah.
ask him what challenges he has, and we can talk about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. He's from Venezuela. He's there and he's great, man. I'm telling you, you sometimes you find assistants or you find people and they show up. He's available on the weekends. He said, look, Jonathan, you need me to work on the weekends.
Wow.
Sometimes I said, look, um, okay, like we get behind on the leads, right? And we got like 5 or 6 leads that we gotta go and tackle, and we gotta do it together because I gotta get the updates from him. And I said, look, can we just jump for a couple hours on Saturday? Okay, and we kind of compile everything that you have done the last few days because I'm busy doing other things, and time got away from us, and we couldn't finish it. He comes back, and I'm available anytime. I can answer.
Nice.
He has a CRM also answering. He in his phone. He can answer directly if I'm not answering. Through the leads, which is key also to get in contact with these people right away. So yeah, but why don't we just next time that we meet, I'll bring him in, okay,
Yeah.
and then we have a chat, and I don't know, you can give him some pointers also, right?
Even
He
pointers
he likes
out
to
or to
listen.
work on.
Yeah, pointers, or we can have a conversation. You can, like you said, you can add value, right, to him and say, like, give it your thought and be open to it.
Yeah.
And then some of the challenges. Because sometimes when I'm talking to him, man, we're going like straight to the point. Okay, what happened with
Yep.
lead this, and that? Okay, do we have to make an offer? Okay, these are the notes. Here are the comps.
Yep.
Um, I'm kind of like doing the comps while I'm with him on the
Yep.
call, and I say, okay, well, look at the offers. I got it right here. Here are the comps. You
Yep.
can go by that. So I work it with him. The way that I do things. Just go straight to the point. Um, and if it's something that he gets, I always tell him, look, if there's some point that you leave something there hanging that you think, oh, I made a mistake, or I shouldn't say that, then just let me know, and I can always go back to that particular lead and speak with them in a different way,
That is
right?
a really good idea. That is a
Yep.
really freaking good idea. I mean, at the end of the day, yes. I mean, this guy seems to be work. I mean, seems to be with you with long term. Like he wants to crush it. So, I mean, I don't see why not giving him that gift, right? The
Yeah.
gift of tips, advice, things my clients are doing differently, and then I mean, here is what I found out throughout my almost 3 years working here, and it is that a lot can be determined by how that initial conversation goes.
Uh,
A lot.
a lot.
I almost see it like I don't know if it's called this way in the States when you go to ER, when someone goes to ER, do they have some sort of like triage system, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it's called, triage?
Triad.
Yeah. So same here. You receive all the leads, you triage them, and all the ones you can make an offer right away, you do it. The ones that you need to follow up with them every couple of weeks, every week or something like that, you also put them in another place. And then you have the ones that they're not ready to go yet, but it's worth it to keep it under a drip campaign, right? Because at some point they have to become motivated, right?
Yep.
um anyway, let's do that. Okay, so that's the action step from this conversation. So let's kind of like wrap up the success strategy call, man. Anything you want to say before I hit stop recording?
No, it's good, man. We're good. Then just meet on the 23rd. So it will be every 2 weeks, right? The 6th, I guess. You want to do it on the 6th?
um Let me see what I have here.
Today is the 23rd, so it will be 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, it'll be a 6. So let me just pause this recording and we can talk about that in just a moment.
Sure.